Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came at 11:43 on a rainy Tuesday. I think you deserve to know the truth about why your wife wanted a break. There was no name attached. Just a screenshot of a reservation confirmation from a lakeside cabin booked for 2 people. My wife's name was on it. The second name wasn't mine. I stared at my phone until the screen dimmed. My first instinct wasn't anger, it was denial. There had to be a mistake. There had to be another explanation. After 11 years of marriage, your heart doesn't immediately believe what your eyes are showing you. 3 weeks earlier, Emma had stood in our kitchen with tears in her eyes, twisting her wedding ring as she struggled to find the words. I need some space, Daniel. Space from what? Everything. I laughed nervously, expecting her to smile and tell me she was overwhelmed from work. She didn't. I feel lost, she whispered. I don't even know who I am anymore. So we'll figure it out together. I don't want to figure it out together. That sentence landed harder than anything else. She insisted there wasn't another man. She swore she wasn't leaving me. She just needed 3 weeks alone at her sister's apartment to clear her head. I believed her because I loved her. Maybe that was my first mistake. The house became painfully quiet after she left. Every room echoed with memories, the coffee mug she always forgot beside the sink, the blanket she stole every night, the perfume that still lingered on her pillow. We still texted. Good morning. Hope work went well. Take care of yourself. Nothing romantic. Nothing cruel. Just enough to keep me believing we still had a future. Then the little things started bothering me. She stopped answering evening calls. Her location sharing suddenly disappeared. She used to reply within minutes. Now hours passed. Whenever I asked how she was doing, her answers became strangely rehearsed. I'm just thinking. I'm healing. I need you to respect my boundaries. I kept telling myself not to be the paranoid husband. Love makes excuses long before it accepts reality. One Saturday, I drove past her sister's neighborhood. I wasn't planning to spy. At least that's what I told myself. Her car wasn't there. Maybe she'd gone shopping. Maybe she'd gone for coffee. Maybe. When I asked her sister how Emma was holding up, she hesitated. She's okay. There was something unnatural about that pause. Days later, Emma called unexpectedly. I miss you. My heart nearly exploded. I miss you too. I just need a little more time. Are we going to be okay? Silence. I don't know. That answer hurt more than if she'd simply said no. The anonymous text arrived 2 days later. Along with the cabin reservation were photographs. Emma laughing on a wooden dock. Emma holding hands with a man I'd never seen before. Emma wearing the blue sweater I'd bought her for our anniversary. The date on the pictures? 4 days after she'd asked for a break. Not months. Not years. 4 days. I couldn't breathe. Every conversation replayed inside my head. Every tear. Every promise. Every hug before she packed her suitcase. Had any of it been real? I called the number that sent the message. A woman answered. My name is Rachel, she said quietly. The man with your wife. He's my fiancé. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. I found out yesterday. So did I. She explained they'd been co-workers for almost a year. The affair had started months before Emma left home. The break wasn't about finding herself. It was about seeing whether life with him would actually work. We were both backup plans. The realization made me physically sick. Rachel and I met the following afternoon at a small cafe. Neither of us wanted revenge. We wanted certainty. She showed me hotel receipts, messages, photos, vacation plans they had secretly made together. Then she handed me one final screenshot. My wife's message read, 3 weeks should be enough. If things don't feel right between us, I'll just tell Daniel I tried. I read it 3 times. Not because I didn't understand it. Because I couldn't believe someone I loved could write something so cold. That evening, Emma returned home carrying an overnight bag. She smiled cautiously. I've been thinking. So have I. She looked around the living room. The framed wedding photos were gone. Her clothes were packed into boxes. What happened? I handed her my phone. She didn't even deny it. She simply sat down. For almost a minute, neither of us spoke. Finally she whispered, It wasn't supposed to happen like this. When exactly? The affair. The break. Or me finding out. Tears rolled down her face. I never wanted to hurt you. I laughed. A hollow sound I barely recognized. You already did. She admitted everything. She'd met Ryan at work. It began as emotional support during a stressful project. Then lunches. Then late-night conversations. Then hotel rooms she told me were business conferences. She insisted she still loved me. I just didn't know which life I wanted. I looked at the woman I'd shared over a decade with. The woman who held my hand when my father died. The woman who danced barefoot with me in our kitchen. Those memories hadn't disappeared. But they no longer felt safe. They're not competing lives, Emma. She looked up. They're people. She cried harder. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Maybe she had. But that didn't automatically become my responsibility to fix. I hope one day you forgive yourself, I said quietly. But I can't build a marriage with someone who treated me like a backup plan. She nodded through tears. I understand. For the first time in weeks there were no excuses. No vague explanations. Just truth. Painful. Late. Necessary. She picked up one box and walked toward the door. Before leaving, she stopped. I did love you. I believed she meant it. That was the tragedy. Love had been real. So had the betrayal. Both can exist at the same time. The divorce wasn't loud or dramatic. It was paperwork. Empty closets. Changed passwords. A wedding ring resting inside a drawer I rarely opened. Months later, I realized healing doesn't arrive with a grand moment of closure. It comes quietly. The first morning you wake up without checking your phone. The first weekend you stop wondering where they are. The first time you remember the marriage without wishing you could go back.